I mean, that son of a bitch, you know, is really unbelievable.
Mr. Son of a bitch.
I mean,
Mr. Son of a bitch.
His royal. Yes, yeah, no, I never imagined that we'd ever have a president like this, and I hope we don't ever have another president like this again.
Anything to talk about. Kimmel was given each one of them was given a reset except for Seth. I didn't even know he was still on the air.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody did. Everyone's watching Forensic Files.
Yes.
No one's watching Seth.
One of the greatest shows ever.
Yeah, but these guys, they had opportunities to reset. Kimmel could have came back and tried to be funny again, or bring guests again, or show any kind of change, but they're really going to ride this out to the last drop. What are they going to do when he's...
Tyrus just did something nobody expected. He went after Jimmy Kimmel. And let's just say the late-night king might not be sleeping peacefully tonight. It's the kind of showdown you never saw coming. The ex-bouncer turned comic versus the guy who laughs hardest at his own jokes. So what did Kimmel pull this time? And why does Tyrus sound ready to knock down Hollywood itself? Buckle up, this one's fiery.
It's not the party, it's not the majority, it's the loud voices that scare people from saying what they believe and make you think twice about a joke or whatever, you know, these things. And, you know, a lot of their points are valid, but a lot of them are also just repulsive. And I mean, they repel people from, they go like, oh, you're no fun, I don't want to be around.
Before we go further, hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Tyrus finally did it. The same man who used to throw bodies around in the ring is now throwing words like they're punches at WrestleMania. Only this time, his rival isn't some muscle-packed guy in spandex.
Are they going to be with Rosie O'Donnell in a four-way Zoom podcast about Trump ruining their life still?
I'm glad you didn't stop at four-way. Although in my head, I can see it.
Oh, come on, man. My mouth was open. Oh.
Nope. It's the delicate prince of late-night TV himself, Jimmy Kimmel, Hollywood's court clown. The man who's never met a cue card he didn't adore or a moral high ground he couldn't fall right off.
I've only had one ex-wife. That's it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, you tell
I had some scruples. Okay? I'll have one-night stands, but I will not marry people I don't love, okay? There's a certain line there.
You can't teach this cracker that.
This wasn't even close to fair. On one side, you've got Tyrus, a human tank with the confidence of someone who's seen locker rooms and live studios alike. On the other, Kimmel, a man who once cried on national TV and called it journalism.
I think if they're going to continue to do a podcast, they need to bring their writers in. Ooh. Because that was brutal.
Terrible. They're out of touch.
It's like listening to two billionaires complaining about no one had change for their $100 bill at McDonald's. You know,
The internet caught the scent instantly. This wasn't going to be some polite argument. It was war. A celebrity roast with no punchline. A heavyweight fight where the gloves were gone, and one side brought memes instead of muscles.
like three ex-lovers.
Yes.
Who just found out about each other. Mm-hmm. And they're all getting together to talk about the man they all still love.
Right.
And they're just sizing each other up, trying to figure out which one of us has the best shot to get back with him.
Yes.
They all get together, they compare notes, and they tell each other, yeah, you should never mention his name again. You should never mention his name again. You should never. Does he call you? Doesn't call me? He texted me last week. Oh, so I'm still in the game. That's all this was. That's just, and that's why nobody cared.
Here comes Kimmel, loaded with Hollywood arrogance and a teleprompter full of one-liners his team scraped from Reddit. He's ready to laugh at everything except himself. Out come the usual tricks. The I'm better than you act powered by applause signs and studio lights. And just as he starts another round of virtue showing, in walks Tyrus. No flash, no laugh track. Just pure reality in a verbal steel chair, the kind that makes you wince when it hits. And when it did, you could hear Hollywood's ego crack from LA to Twitter. Tyrus didn't just call Kimmel out, he tore down the whole show. The relatable comic who hasn't been one since gas was cheap. He's been living in a bubble where mocking people counts as activism, where insulting regular folks is somehow bravery. But the only thing bold here is how stale the jokes are. You can't repeat the same 5 conservative jokes forever and expect cheers. That's not bravery, Jimmy. That's recycling.
so annoyed. All I had was a crisp 100. They had no change. I was like, what is this world coming to? That's why I'm moving to Italy, girl. I know, me too.
Great.
Like, it's just...
Can I say something great?
Tyrus saw straight through the Hollywood smokescreen. He didn't call Kimmel out for fame. He did it because someone had to. Someone needed to say that Kimmel's idea of punching up is mocking Walmart shoppers while sipping wine bought with sponsor money. And when Tyrus spoke, it hit deep, because it wasn't from some influencer or think tank. It came from a guy who's worked hard, who's fought for every inch, who wasn't handed a mic and a fake moral code. Suddenly, Kimmel's nice guy mask started slipping. His funny with compassion act fell apart when someone stood up to him. It's bad when the guy who once prank-called strangers can't handle a little clapback from a Fox News guest. The irony couldn't be clearer.
One government crossing guard goes, go ahead.
How did you feel watching Kimmel cry?
One of his tears fell out. Hold on. You know, it's funny how this derangement's working, because it only seems to work if you have a camera in front of you.
And the fans went wild. Social media turned into a battle arena, half shouting, "Tyrus crushed Hollywood," and the other half trying to defend Kimmel with old clips from when he was actually funny. Spoiler, there weren't many. This wasn't just two men clashing. It was a cultural quake. The loud, proud Hollywood bubble colliding with someone who doesn't care about its rules. Tyrus grabbed Late Night by the neck and said, "Maybe laugh at yourself for once." And for Kimmel, that's like asking a cat to take a bath. Or worse, skip the moral lectures disguised as jokes. That's why people loved it. Because Tyrus didn't hit him out of spite. He hit him for hypocrisy. The guy who mocked elites had become one. Living in a mansion built on jokes about people he can't relate to. His compass now points toward whoever funds the next monologue.
The ex-wife's club.
Yeah.
You know, they just sit around, be funny, or they're setting up for when they're all canceled, their tour. Their three-man show.
Yes.
Come watch us say how much we hate the president.
Even Hollywood had to admit Tyrus had a point. It was like watching the class clown realize the laughs on him. For years, Kimmel's lived safe in his bubble, surrounded by fake laughter and canned applause. But when Tyrus called him out, there was no cue card to hide behind. You could feel the tension rise. Fans compared Kimmel's scripted lines to Tyrus's raw fire. No contest. Something like, "Hey, Jimmy, maybe smile more and insult fewer truckers this week." Once the internet smelled weakness, it was over. The memes landed harder than any of Kimmel's jokes in years. Tyrus didn't just win, he owned the narrative. And that's when Kimmel's meltdown began. His supporters tried to twist it. Tyrus is just bitter. Yeah, sure. Because pointing out that the emperor's got no clothes, or no comedy, is bitterness now. The man's been reusing punchlines like it's recycling day.
The funniest thing about this whole thing is they act like he got into the White House, and right as he got in, he's like, your list that you wrote for him, for people to go get. It's like, ICE, here they are, go round them up. No one gives a frog's fat ass what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if they did, they would have stopped that podcast immediately.
Yes.
That's right. 100%.
The funniest part is how this fight revealed the thin border between humor and politics. Kimmel's been walking that edge blindly for years, pretending to save the world with jokes. Then Tyrus shows up and says, "Nah, man, you're just saving your ratings." The internet did what it always does, blew it up. Suddenly, it was a war for the soul of comedy. People took sides like it was a Marvel finale. On one side, Hollywood elites who think laughter needs moral approval. On the other, regular folks who just want to laugh freely. Tyrus spoke for them, the people tired of being told what they can laugh at. His clapback wasn't just aimed at Kimmel. It hit the whole culture that confuses arrogance for smarts and condescension for wit. And audiences noticed. Ratings don't lie. People don't want lectures disguised as jokes anymore. They want honesty, even if it's rough around the edges. And that's Tyrus. All rough, all real.
Expected to walk into work, stepping over, crying, to your credit, libtards.
Yes.
Like, oh, excuse me, oh, tear.
Yes.
There we go. But it wasn't. Everybody went back to their lives.
Yeah.
So apparently the only way this heartbreak works is if you film it or force someone else to film it.
Right.
But to your point, about Carson, we never knew his political affiliations because he was there to make everyone laugh. All the late night shows were.
And that's what Hollywood can't handle. Someone who truly doesn't care about fitting in. Kimmel's whole image depends on being liked. Tyrus, he couldn't care less. That's why he wins automatically. But Kimmel didn't get it. He doubled down on arrogance, like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. He fired back, pretending he's above it all while clearly shaking. Truth hurts, especially when it comes sharper than your ratings chart. Even neutral viewers noticed the pattern. Kimmel's every reply felt like a reheated monologue. People crave real voices, not pretend empathy between sponsor breaks. Tyrus reminded everyone that comedy used to be dangerous, not sanitized. Watching him shatter Kimmel's fake moral throne felt like someone finally flipping the switch in a room full of fake light. The best part? Kimmel's fans didn't know what to do. Some yelled jealousy. Others claimed Tyrus wasn't relevant, yet he trended for days. You don't cause panic in late-night offices by being a nobody. One honest truth from him made the whole system glitch.
Clown went all in on ignoring reality and blames MAGA.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
So MAGA is desperately trying to portray Kirk's killer as not one of them. If that man was any more full of shit, he'd be a colostomy bag. That was 2 days ago, so Kimmel had the chance to walk it back, but he can't.
It's poetic, really. Kimmel built a career laughing at others. Now he's the one being laughed at, just not the way he planned. Every fake calm moment made him look shakier. The internet never forgives fake confidence. It smells fear like sharks smell blood. And right now, Kimmel's PR team is bleeding out. Meanwhile, Tyrus is chilling, undefeated, scrolling through memes of himself smashing Hollywood. He doesn't even need to win. His calmness already proves it. When you live rent-free in a man's head whose job is making others laugh, you've already won. There's poetic justice in it. Kimmel used to take risks with humor. Now he needs HR to approve his jokes. And being shown up by someone who doesn't hide behind applause hits hard. This whole feud feels like a correction, a reminder that comedy isn't one-sided. You can't dish it out and cry foul when it comes back. That's what stings. Because for all his talk about humor and toughness, Kimmel proved he only likes jokes he tells.
Should be fired because it was such a big murderous election on one side that it should have been a reset. Because when it happened in 20, when he lost and Biden got in, I don't remember us doing an episode on coping skills. There was no line in the audience where I was like, "Thank you for coming. Thank you. We're gonna." We just like, well, let's keep going. And I believe we made fun of the situation and ourselves. So I always tell people, try to be the bigger man, which is ironic. But
impossible.
In this case, because the poor sportsmanship is coming from TV, normally I would say you can have one lap and smell your flowers, but go ahead and take 4.
Tyrus walked away from that clash with more fans, more respect, and the satisfaction of exposing one of late night's biggest lies, that fame equals wisdom, that money equals honesty, that airtime equals importance. And when it's Tyrus delivering the truth, you'd better brace yourself. The man doesn't jab, he drops finishing blows. It's the perfect image of today's moment. And as the tension simmers, one thing's clear. Tyrus isn't just fighting Kimmel, he's fighting the culture of fake smiles, forced empathy, and watered-down jokes. Kimmel can keep his applause signs. Tyrus already owns what every comic secretly wants. Realness that hits harder than any scripted punchline. No matter how many monologues Kimmel delivers, or how many times he rebrands himself as America's uncle, this shadow won't fade.
Last night, Jimmy Kimmel returned to his show and gave a self-pitying, tearful non-apology. But I gotta say, it's nice to see someone crying at Kimmel's show besides the audience. Kimmel failed to correct his lie that Charlie Kirk's assassin was a MAGA supporter, but he cited Jesus as inspiration for forgiveness. True, Jesus forgave his executioners, but Jesus also cast demons into a herd of pigs.
Because it showed something that can't be unseen. that when faced with something real, Hollywood folds faster than one of Kimmel's cue cards. Yes, Tyrus called him out, but really he called out the entire show. The fake morals, the selective outrage, the belief that fame makes your voice worth more. He ripped that illusion apart like a wrestler smashing a prop, and people loved it. Because in a world drowning in fake smiles, Tyrus gave us something rare. Truth with a smirk. Maybe that's why this feud won't be remembered as scandal, but as a turning point. The moment one man told Hollywood's funny guy to sit down, drop the act, and for once, just be real.